Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine. Today I'm going to read part 12 of A Journey Beyond the World, part 1. We reached to the point that Kaduk and Elenda saw a dragonfly and a butterfly who were escaping from a genetic lab. Kaduk says, can you tell us why you're escaping from that place? Butterfly says, we lived on the planet Sirozat 4. We used nature from the weather, food, and many other natural things. We sometimes fought for insects and animals for survival. We won and sometimes we were defeated and eaten, and nature continued its normal routine. Until one day a group of hunters from the planet Minazak 3 came to our planet. These were hunter locusts working for the yellow frogs. The locusts hunted a few butterflies and dragonflies with them. They won, and there were no trace of them. After a while, one day suddenly the locusts of the planet Minazak 3 attacked all of our butterflies and dragonflies and caught us and brought us to the cursed planet Sinazak 5. Kaduk says, cursed? Butterfly says, the calamities that befell us made life bitter for us. Every day they took a group of butterflies with them to genetic laboratories and never returned them. The more we protested, the more violent they became. Some butterflies died of fear and others of severe depression, and some committed suicide with electrocuted wires. Kaduk says, what was going on in the lab? What were they doing? Didn't they research? Butterfly says, yes, they were researching. Each of us was given a special chemical drugs that were certain to die after a while, until it was the turn of the group I was in. Whatever we begged for, and eventually whatever we protested, to no avail. Each of us was taken to solitary confinement and given injections at certain times. The sound of butterflies crying and screaming did not allow us to sleep peacefully. It was a surprise to them that I was silent and waiting for my death, because the injection of drugs was deadly painful and was unbearable. Anyway, some time has passed. I felt like my solitary cell was getting smaller by the day. I was scared, but I did not dare to speak. Everything I did not affect their cruel hearts. Although they did not have a heart, robots have emotion. The robots were emotionless and numb. Kaduk says, but the butterfly, I'm also a robot, and believe me, I was very sad by your painful past. Butterfly says, anyway, they were very cruel. One day they opened the cell and took me to the compound. I saw other butterflies with me grow very large. I was too big, but I did not notice. Like me, they no longer cried or shouted. It was as if they were waiting for death. Kaduk asks, so what happened next? Butterfly says, one by one, the butterflies were taken inside the hole. It was unbearable to hear their cries then. Kaduk asks, why? What did they do with them? Butterfly says, they were taken inside the hole, and with all the savagery that was in them, they fluttered their wings and threw the body of the butterflies away. Some of them died at the same time, and some of the mourners pulled themselves to one side, even though they had no life left. After a few minutes, they also died of severe pain and bleeding. Kaduk says, "How terrible! His imagination is also painful for me." "But what did you do next?" Butterfly says, "They hired a dragonfly for each of us as a guard. The poor dragonflies had to obey them, otherwise they would have suffered the same disaster as the butterflies." Kaduk says, "You mean this dragonfly is your guardian?" Butterfly says, "Yes, but he is a hero. I owe my life to his heroic dragonfly." Kaduk says, "So you escaped with help, right?" Butterfly says, "The dragonfly, like me, sucks blood and does not breathe. But when it was my turn, and only then, I realized what was wrong with the butterflies. It attacked the electronic circuit of the head of the robots with a quick movement, and I took the opportunity and I attacked the robot that had caught me, and we left the hole in a few seconds, and as you can see, we are still running." Elenda asks, "Ask why they cut their wings." Impeller says, "On our wings, there is a regular array of scattering elements that reflects the wavelength of light that is emitted regardless of the angle of light to the wing. For example, the wings of the tropical blue impeller, the United States exhibits properties called primary color. When light strikes an object that contains all color, all wavelengths are observed by the object, except for some low amplitude wavelengths that are reflected. This is the color we see, and because of its low amplitude, it makes the color purer and more intense. Scattering elements in the wings of butterflies that produce vibrant colors are just as natural as photonic crystals. These elements are very small dots or plugs on the wings of butterflies that cannot be made artificially. That is why we are genetically enlarged to have access to more and larger photonic crystals. These crystals have different uses, especially in the case of applications with photonic properties, which are most sought after by these robots. We are more at risk." Elenda says, "Well, what should we do? How can you hide this height and slate that you crushed?" Butterfly says, "You better ride me." The dragonfly also rides the Kaduk. Elenda says, "How?" "We fall." Butterfly says, "Do not worry. You hold me tight." Kaduk can extend its arms and wrap around Dragonfly. Elenda says, "Where are we going?" Butterfly says, "We have to take refuge in the forests. Also, make sure they track you down and send more troops to destroy you. It is best to stay away from where your ship is. They may also be in danger." Elenda says, "We accept. Kaduk rides a dragonfly. We should go." Kaduk says, "But madam..." Elenda says, Get on Kaduk soon. We have to escape. We must go to a safe place." Butterflies and dragonflies flew. They passed over beautiful mountains and cliffs and waterfalls and towering forest trees, and landed on a wide plain by the river and breathed a sigh of relief. Butterfly says, "Do you help us to save the rest?" Elenda says, "Help? How? What should we do?" Butterfly says, "We have to make a plan and save the rest of butterflies and dragonflies. Please, Commander, all of them are in danger." Didn't you see all the butterflies and dragonflies that were dumped on the hill while flying? The dragonfly continued. They create artificial rain with the special technologies they have. This rain is acid rain that falls on the trunks of butterflies and dragonflies and shatters them. They are even afraid of dead butterflies. Poor wingless butterflies. Elenda says, wait, a thought came to my mind. Butterfly says, hurry up. If they find us, they will let us go. They won't let us go. Elenda says, if we destroy these robots, will they shut down? It can't be that. They bring more robots. A fundamental thought must be made. It is necessary to enter the laboratory and access the result of the experiments and reverse the results so that they stop doing this. Otherwise, the war will continue. The butterfly got up sadly. He went a few steps further. The dragonfly followed him, and the two sat very sad and thought of a solution. Suddenly Kaduk shouted, Commander, I have a good idea. Now that they do not have a boss and their number is small, we can. If we want to delay, the new boss will come with more troops and it will be very difficult. Elenda asks, what is your plan? Kaduk says, we all go to the genetic salon together. In the middle of the night, butterflies and dragonflies begin to fly. Robots that detect them try to catch or kill them. Anyway, all their attention is drawn to the butterfly and dragonflies. Then we slowly enter the hall. We open the doors. First, we flee the butterflies and dragonflies, and then we go to the research center. We find the main computer and manipulate the research results. Then we leave quickly. For the two that do not, I have to stop the guard robots. Elenda says, okay, manipulating computers on me. Entertain the guards and keep them away from here with butterflies and dragonflies. Kaduk, hurry up. Call the butterfly and the dragonfly. We do not have time. We need to start sooner. Kaduk says, okay, madam. At midnight, everyone was ready for their posts and started the operation. Dragonflies followed the butterfly and guard robots followed. In the blink of an eye, the commander and Kaduk entered the hall. They opened the lab doors and told the butterflies to run away quickly. Dragonflies also flew after butterflies and hid among the trees in the dark of night. The commander took the opportunity to go to the main room of computers, manipulate them, and returned happily. When he left the hall, he told Kaduk, be careful that there are no butterflies and dragonflies left in the hall and cells. Kaduk says, Madam, everyone left. Elenda says, be quick. We must run away too. Suddenly the sound of a terrible explosion shook everywhere. So he threw Elenda. Elenda fell and did not move. Kaduk says, Commander, get up. Commander, we succeeded. The butterfly returned to the commander and Kaduk and said, what happened? Kaduk says, Commander wounded. She is also unconscious. Butterfly says, put her on my back. Take care of it yourself. We are going to your ship. You better get out of here. Thank you for your help. All communication has been cut off and we have been safe here for some time, said the dragonfly. Kaduk and Elenda boarded the butterfly and landed near the spacecraft. Little by little, Elenda became conscious. Commander, everything was done. The butterflies were released. They all went to the top of the cliff. Guard robots were also destroyed. Even if they are healthy, they cannot climb the cliff. Butterflies and dragonflies migrated to the other side of the planet. No hunter can reach them anymore. They are more careful about themselves. The genetic laboratory hall has also been destroyed, thanks to you. I no longer think it can be used. Elenda says, why did it explode? I did not explode that. Kaduk says, it must have been planned to explode if a stranger have access to it. Elenda says, so what was the result of this research? Kaduk says, none. It will be closed for a while. Elenda says, we'd better get on the spacecraft and go. I do not like this planet at all. Although it is very green, it has good weather, but I do not want to stay here. I hate war and killing. Kaduk says, Commander, get on board. It is better to rest, if you let us move. Elenda says, I order to move. Do everything yourself. All in their place. Belts closed. Ready to move. We move. 1, 2, 3. Move to a new and a calm planet. Elenda says, I rest a little on the command post. That is enough for me. Kaduk says, butterflies do not have a long life, right? Elenda says, yes, that's right. Some are only alive for a month. Kaduk says, wouldn't it be better if the photonic crystals of the rings were used to advance science? Elenda says, yes, it was much better, provided that 1 month of their lives was not accompanied by suffering and torture. Of course, the photonic crystals of butterfly wings are better if they are used naturally and after the natural death of butterflies. Their life will have a normal routine. That is, using photonic crystals organically without any butterflies suffering. May they live comfortably and may their wings be good for human beings. But very large genetic wings need their technology. They must have larger photonic crystals. It is unknown at this time that what we will do after leaving the post. At the same time, killing and torturing all these butterflies harms nature and it is not the right thing to do at all. Are you sure the larger crystals have no properties? Elenda says, no, I'm not sure at all. But I'm sure killing butterflies with acid rains is not the right thing to do. Just killing dragonflies for butterflies is a worth thing. Dragonflies are insects that seek peace, and their peace is alone and does not harm others. It is not right for all these insects to be endangered and for nature to be manipulated so that we can achieve scientific progress. Every living thing has its place in nature. It is not right to turn the peace of nature into war and unrest. Kaduk says, that's right, Commander, but you kill and eat a lot of cattle and birds and even insects. Aren't you upset about this? Elenda says, if it is enough to provide food and get away from hunger, there is no problem. All nature is at our disposal, but if we kill and waste indiscriminately, we fight against nature on our own, and surely the reflection of this war will take its toll on us, and we will not enjoy life, and the path of humanity and our perfection will deviate. All human beings should be perfectionists and have an understanding of life and attribute their mission of servitude. They do it well. Otherwise, what is the difference between the same animals that are eaten? Kaduk says, yes, I mean, I do not understand some of what you said, but you must be right. After a while, after a few minutes, or maybe hours, Elenda opened her eyes. Okay, everyone, it's the end of chapter 7, and I will continue next week. See you soon. Bye.